Hello, in this video we will be discussing about very important topic, that is motivation. So let's see what are the contents of this video. We are going to see meaning and definition of motivation, types of motivation, importance of motivation, 10 commandments of effective motivation, and various theories of motivation. Let's understand what exactly motivation means. The word motivation is derived from the Latin word movere, which means to move or energize or activate. Motivation refers to the way in which desires, inspirations, or needs direct, control, and explain the behavior of human being. According to W.G. Squat, motivation means a process of simulating people to action to accomplish desired goals. So let's first understand types of motivation. Types of motivation, that means these types are divided on the basis of three types according to approach, according to incentives, and according to nature. According to approach, further divided on the basis of two types, that is positive motivation, negative motivation. According to incentive wise motivation, this motivation can further divided on the basis of two types, financial motivation and non-financial motivation. And third and last type, that is according to the nature, that divides on the basis of extrinsic motivation and intrinsic motivation. So let's first understand the positive motivation. Positive motivation makes people willing to do their work in the best way they can and improve their performance. Negative motivation involves creating a sense of fear or unhealthy environment, punishment, fear of loss of job are the methods where people work in fear. The next category, that is financial or monetary motivation, as the name implies, a motivation incentives is a money based reward given when an employee meets or ex- exceed expectations. Then next type is non-monetary benefit motivation, that is called as a non-financial motivation. That motivation tends to come with the promise of an opportunity. Opportunities can include time off from work, flexible work schedule, or even positive changes in work environment. Next type is extrinsic motivation. Extrinsic motivation do not occur on the job but around the job. These factors include pay allowances, bonus, etc. Intrinsic motivation involves engaging in a behavior because it is personally rewarding, essentially performing an activity for its own sake rather than the desire for some external reward. Let's see importance of motivation. Motivation is a very important for an organization because it provides various benefits. So we'll see the first importance of motivation, that is puts human resources into action. So, this is important for every concern requires physical, financial, and human resources to accomplish the goals. It is through motivation that the human resources can be utilized by making full use of it. This can be done by building willingness in employee to work. This will help the enterprise to securing best possible utilization of resources. So next importance of motivation is improves level of efficiency of employees. The level of a subordinate or an employee does not only depend upon his qualification and ability. For getting best of his work performance, the gap between ability and willingness has to be filled, which help in improving the level of performance of subordinates. This will result into increase in productivity, reducing cost of operations and improving overall efficiency. Then third important of motivation is leads it leads to achievement of organizational goal. The goals of an enterprise can be achieved only when there is a best possible utilization of resources, there is cooperative work environment, the employees are goal directed and they act in purposefully manner. If coordination and cooperation takes place simultaneously, which can be effectively done through motivation. Then, fourth importance of motivation that builds friendly relationship. Motivation is an important factor which brings employees satisfaction. This can be done by keeping into mind and framing an incentive plan for the benefit of the employees. This could initiate the monetary and non-monetary incentives, promotion opportunities for employees. This will help to build cordial, friendly atmosphere in a concern. This would help in effective cooperation, which brings stability. Industrial disputes and unrest in employees will definitely reduce. The employee will be adaptable to the changes and there will be no resistance to the change. This will result in profit maximization through increased productivity. Last, that is last importance of motivation is leads to stability of workforce. Stability of workforce is very important from the point of view of the reputation and goodwill of a concern. The employees can remain loyal to enterprise only when they have a feeling of participation in management. The skill and efficiency of employees will always be of advantageous to employees as well as employers. This will lead to a good public image in the market, which will attract competent and qualified people into a concern. We can summarize by saying that motivation is important for both to an individual and to a business. Motivation is important to an individual because motivation will help him achieve his personal goals. If an individual is motivated, he will have job satisfaction. Motivation will help in self development of individual. An individual would always gain by working with a dynamic team. Similarly, motivation is important to a business as the more motivated the employees are, the more empowered the team is. The more is the teamwork and the individual employee contribution, more profitable and successful is a business. During period of amendments, there will be more adaptability and creativity. Motivation will lead to optimistic and challenging attitude at workplace. So these are the various importance of the motivation. So let's see 10 commandments of effective motivation, which are very important in any business organization. So first is recognize the individuality of individual. Remember that people are different psychologically, No two persons are same. Second is make your subordinates feel important. Give credit where it is due and show interest in an appreciation of your subordinator. Praise in public and criticize in private. Third is guide rather than the order. Instead of giving orders, providing suggestions are likely to produce better result. Fourth is set a good example. Remember that the manager sets a style for his people. Subordinates are always watching their superior and often presuming that the superior conduct is the appropriate one for adoption. Next is show confidence in your subordinate. Manager has to adapt the attitude that gives surety about his subordinates will do their work best, even ask them for their counsel and suggestion. Next is listen attentively. Before guidance can be given, it is necessary to understand the facts. Listening can provide deeper understanding. Watch how you communicate. Be careful not only what you say, but how you say, that is also very important. Then, next, encourage participation. Whenever possible, provide the subordinates with an opportunity to take part in the decision. Next, do not be secretive. Being secretive induces frustration in subordinates. And last and most important, that is, make your subordinates want to do things that you want them to do. Making the subordinates want to do the thing is only secured by an integration of objectives where the subordinates feel that they will achieve their own goals based by striving towards the achievement of organizational goals. So let's move on to the motivation theories. First, we'll discuss theory of hierarchy of need given by Abraham Maslow. He was the psychologist who studied positive human qualities in 1954. Maslow created a hierarchy of human need and expressed his theory in his book Motivation and Personality. So this theory is mentioned in the book Motivation and Personality. According to Abraham Maslow, an individual tries to fulfill different types of needs in order to motivate himself or herself. Maslow gave hierarchy of need, that is in pyramid structure, in which he explained how needs can be classified and how we achieve different needs. So these needs are classified like physiological needs, safety and security needs, social needs, esteem needs, and self actualization needs. So at the basic or lower level, we have the physiological needs, which includes breathing, food, water, shelter, clothing, and sleep. That are the basic needs one requires for the survival. Once these needs are satisfied, he or she, an individual, moves on to the higher or next level, which is known as safety or security needs. These needs includes health, employment, property, family, stability. Person tries to fulfill his safety needs, basically safety of family, health, property. This is what person achieve in this level. Once the person achieve these types of needs, he moves on the another higher level of need, which is known as social needs. which include love and belongingness needs, where he tries to find out and tries to discover friendship and family with individual. These needs include love and belongingness, friendship, family, intimacy, sense of connection. Once these needs are satisfied, the person moves towards the esteem needs. He looks forward the self-esteem needs, which include confidence, achievement, respect of others, respect by others. All these needs motivates individual. Many people they finish their life at esteem needs and not able to reach these particular types of hierarchy of need, which is self actualization. So let's understand what exactly self actualization. It is a person's motivation to reach her or his full potential. So it includes morality, creativity, inner potential. All these things motivate the individual when he or she reaches to self actualization level. So this is need hierarchy theory of motivation given by Maslow. So let's see second motivational theory, that is Friedrich Herzberg two factors theory. Friedrich Herzberg conducted a study at Case Western Reserve University. It was an analysis of the experiences and feelings of 200 engineers and accountants in a different company. They were asked to describe a few things in their job where they felt exceptionally good and exceptionally bad about their job. He came out with the two different factors, which are hygiene factors and another one is motivator factor. So we'll see what exactly mean by hygiene factor. Hygiene factors are these are the factors some these are the some job conditions which dissatisfy employees when they are absent, but their presence does not motivate them. Let's take the term hygiene only. If, let's say, your washroom or bathroom is not hygienic, it is very dirty or messy, will you like it? No. You will be dissatisfied because hygiene factor is absent. But at the same time, if your bathroom is done properly, it does not mean it will motivate or presence will be motivated you. So let's see the another factor which is motivational factor. These are sub job conditions which builds strong motivation and job satisfaction when they are present, but their absence really proves dissatisfaction. So we'll see what are the hygiene factors and what are the motivator factors. Hygiene factor include salaries, wages, other benefit, company policy and administration, good interpersonal relationship, quality of supervision, job security, working condition, work-life balance. When all these factors are in present, that will result in it gives general satisfaction or prevention of dissatisfaction. Let's see what are the motivators factor. Motivator factors includes sense of personal achievement, status, recognition, challenges, stimulating work responsibility, opportunity for advancement, promotion, growth. When these factors are in place, these factors result in high motivation, high satisfaction, strong commitment. So we'll see the third theory of motivation, McGregor's Theory X and Theory Y. McGregor has given certain assumptions which are involved in motivating employees. These assumptions are characterized in two opposite directions. Theory X, these assumptions about human nature are negative. Theory Y, these assumptions about human nature are positive. He assumed that ex-employees are negative in nature, that people need close supervision, they will avoid work when possible, they will avoid responsibility, they desire only money. People must be pushed to perform. In case of the Y employees, he assumed that why employees are positive in nature? People want independence in work. People seek responsibility. People are motivated by self fulfillment. People naturally want to work. People will drive themselves to perform. These are the why theory. But now, how did he relate to the motivation? He said that theory X manager, that is whose manager, whose employees dislike work, they are not interested in doing work for them in order to motivate them. He need to have autocratic leadership style. That is, he should use extensive supervision and control. There should be little delegation of work and motivation can be given by their pay, their salary. That is how Theory X manager should deal with their employees. But in case of Y theory, Y manager whose employees like work, they are creative. In that case, the manager need to have autocratic or participative leadership style. That is, there should have delegation of work, there should have two-way communication, he should listen to the employees and he should empower to employees also. So, how the strategy should be used to motivate all kinds of employees. This is the theory of X and Y given by McGregor. So, hope you all have understood the meaning and definition of motivation, types of motivation, and various theories of motivation. Thank you all.